Hi, I'm Jeremy from DeFiato, and this is 26 Questions with Jeremy.
Yo, what's happening, you guys? Before proceeding with the video, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe for more. Also, don't forget about the link you have down below or the QR code right here to sign up with MEXC and get 20% off your trading fees. You might want to use that one. Hi, Jeremy. Nice to have you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a great privilege to be talking to you and the community from MEXC.
Likewise, yes, we've been waiting for this interview for quite a while, and we're excited to get things going. Our community is excited to learn more about your project. They have questions for you. They're eager to know more. So if you're ready, I can go ahead and read the questions to you.
Yep, let's go.
Starting off with question number 1. What do you like most about the DeFiato project, and why do you think it will have a positive impact on the evolution of today's financial services?
I personally like the simplicity and user-friendliness of DeFiato. So users can access all our different services, such as yield farming with a single click. So what this means is that we will obfuscate all cumbersome user processes, of which there are many, such as payment of gas or approval of steps all the way. So we simplify these 16 steps processes with a single click. Now, we believe, at DeFiato that this development will truly unlock and bring in the next $1 trillion from mainstream into DeFi services. We do not hide our ambition to be the #1 household name for DeFi services for mainstream.
Okay, yeah, and you have a pretty nice looking website here. So everyone who's watching, you might want to check that out. Moving on with question number 2. Why did you name it DeFiato?
That's a really good question. So when you recommend DeFi to friends, we want to be that platform, right? So in doing so, we needed to be synonymous with the word DeFi or decentralized finance. And naturally, we settled on something catchy and relatable, right? Hence, DeFiato.
Okay, question number 3. One interesting game-changing feature that DeFiato aims to introduce is centralized, decentralized finance. And can you explain to us what this concept is and how it's different from the current trend of DeFi? Actually, the first time I hear such a term, centralized, decentralized, the combination, I'm also interested how that's going to work out.
It just means that we are onto something really new, and we are pushing the envelope of how users are beginning to understand decentralized finance, right? So I'll start answering by saying this. DeFiato is a centralized DeFi platform, which basically means we combine the user-friendliness features of a centralized app with the entire universe of DeFi services. So it allows decentralized finance services such as swapping, yield farming, lending, borrowing to be easily accessible to all users, including those with little or no experience.
So basically, I think this feature we can consider as like partially from kind of like a DEX feature where you swap, but at its core, you're a centralized basically platform, right? So you have like a mix of both worlds.
That is correct. So we marry the good parts of centralized platforms, right, which is safety and security for custody of funds, and we push it through to the entire universe of decentralized finance, and we know that that's a really, really big ocean out there.
Question number 4. In your opinion, what feature of DeFiato makes it different from everything we currently know?
So you can see immediately from our user interface, using the platform, you would be able to have superior user experience that we are focused on fundamental DeFi services rather than just simple APR, APY generation, which is native to many of competitors, right? Wallets and products. So DeFiato is totally cross-chain as well, which essentially provides service as a bridge. In addition to this, we also, as I mentioned earlier, provide one click to farm, which simplifies the entire core chain of decentralized finance services that a user naturally interact with. So we make this entire thing seamless and easy, lower the barrier to entry, understanding DeFi, hence perfectly catered for mainstream.
What is the main features of your project that make it ahead of competitors?
It's a really similar answer to the previous question in that our main feature is a very seamless, low barrier to entry, easy to use solution, right? We have our app already on the Apple Store as well as Google Play, which already puts it ahead of a lot of these other DeFi services out there. So we make it easy, we take away all complications so that users can enter decentralized finance safely. Now, of note, my personal favorite USP is the fact that we have this ability to do cross-chain services from the very beginning, right? From BSC to Polygon to Avalanche and over to Terra. This is a significant advantage over other players in either the decentralized finance space or even the centralized DeFi space who typically only support a single ecosystem.
Yeah, and I actually want to showcase here the app on the App Store and Google Play, which again, guys, everyone who's watching, you can get it from here on the website. Moving on with the rest of the questions. How do you see the DeFi industry 3 years from now, and what will be DeFiato's role in it?
DeFi will grow to be more prominent in terms of use cases and potentially completely replace some of its traditional finance counterparts, right? This is what we truly believe in. So we are here for the long haul, and DeFi, even though it is currently still in its nascent stages, right? Baby steps. There's a lot of work to do to educate mainstream and onboard the multitude of users safely as well as at scale. So essentially, we want to be that product, right? As I mentioned earlier, that you would proudly tell your friends and family to use if they were ever interested in the DeFi space. So we take our mandate seriously, and we want to build the safest and most value-added centralized DeFi product ever, right? And establish market as well as thought leadership over this space.
Can you please highlight more of the decentralization aspect using your technology? Also, in the future, is it possible to quantify the level of decentralization and economic incentivization?
Because we are in a very unique position as centralized DeFi, right? We have to be very upfront that, of course, we are centralized at the moment. And mind you, this is a feature, not a flaw, ongoing efforts to get mainstream adoption. However, it is in our pipeline and our ambitions to one day become fully decentralized as well. You would just have to wait for that to happen. Not going to be immediate, but it will definitely bode well for the token utility of DFIAT, right? So more information to come.
Guys, we will drop the links down in the description box so you can stay up to date with the DeFiato project and not miss out on their updates and announcements. Question number 8. I have found out that DeFiato is in open beta right now. Can you tell us when it will go mainnet, and what are the additional features we can see on the mainnet version?
So for this question, when we say mainnet, we are probably referring to, DeFiato as a protocol. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not going to be immediate. Currently, DeFiato is operating in open beta as a centralized platform, and we will constantly build capabilities in our current format. It is working really well. And when the time comes to adopt a mainnet or protocol approach to become a truly DeFi solution, the DFIAT token will definitely feature in this entire shift and process. So I would say I could see this happening in the next 3 to 5 years, possibly.
How does DeFiato plan on dealing with stablecoin regulations coming from some countries? And does DeFiato have plans to incorporate more traditional banking or lending within its ecosystem?
So due to our exposure, purely from a custodial point of view, we operate within that tight band of compliance. So we comply, and we are able to continue providing our intermediary services to users, right, as a custodial solution. So if required, however, to submit for specific licenses with regard to stablecoin management, DeFiato is fully prepared to go through the required process in order to ensure business continuity. Because as I said, we are here for the long haul. However, DeFiato currently does not have plans to incorporate traditional elements of, for example, broker-dealer licenses or OTC or exchange of digital assets, right, within our platform, because that's not our service offering. So there's no requirement, I guess, for us to submit for those licenses because those are not services we do right now.
Does DeFiato plan to bring one-click on-chain lending borrowing services to mainstream users, as most of the users want to diversify their assets to bring in more income sources?
Definitely. So DeFiato is a DeFi aggregator. So we allow any DeFi service such as swapping, yield farming, loans borrowing, cross-chain, and more to be accessible to our users. DeFiato is not limited by technological or user-related hurdles that DeFi currently faces. So as I said, the centralized component is the main feature here. So DeFiato, in other words, can power entire spaces, of GameFi or even NFTs, right, without any limitations.
Can you tell us more about the integration of fiat on and off ramping? Has it been rolled up?
DeFiato is introducing fiat onramp via our partner, Prime Trust Bank, which is based in the US. And through this partnership, users from all over the world, minus the sanctioned nations, of course, would be able to transfer USD directly to the bank, our intermediary based in the US, and in doing so, onboard their fiat directly into crypto. This is a game changer, in my opinion, because what this means is then you can straight from fiat to farm. So currently, users from all over the world, as I mentioned, except the sanctioned nations, will be allowed to participate, and this would be an entirely KYC process. Fiat on-ramp will be rolled out fairly soon, so do stay tuned. We expect it to be out in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
The next question, you already answered some of it for the previous one, but perhaps you have something more to add. Is it compulsory to KYC when using DeFiato? And the answer is yes. And how many users DeFiato currently has, and what is DeFiato's target in the near future?
We highly recommend users perform KYC in order to increase their withdrawal limits significantly. The previous question was talking more about the fiat on-ramp, which is slightly different from using our platforms without fiat. We currently have about 10,000 active users doing a range of activity on our platform, right, including farming as well as swaps. And we definitely want to achieve that 100,000 milestone. It is something we are so passionate about as our first milestone because we want to be really significant players in the DeFi space.
Will we use a DeFiato mobile wallet in the future?
So that's already out, right? So DeFiato has been working really hard to roll out our mobile app ahead of time. Users can enjoy full functionality. Everything that I've mentioned so far will be available on the mobile app, including staking of our tokens. And this is available to both iOS as well as Android users.
Do you have any NFT plans and its incentivization integration ahead in the roadmap? And also, do you have any passive income options and reward for a long-term holder?
So obviously, we cannot avoid the NFT conversations since that's the most heated product in the space. So DeFiato is a DeFi aggregator, right? We act as an intermediary to all decentralized finance services out there. As I mentioned earlier, it's not a limitation on us. We can actually support everything, including holding of NFTs, trading NFTs. And actually, we have not been secretive about this. We have been looking at integration of open protocol for NFT trades onto our platform. When it's ready, we will be announcing that in time. Now, for the second part of the question for passive income, we currently have some utility with regard to staking of DeFiat tokens on defiato.com with a fixed APY. So, users can, of course, check that out as well.
Moving on, question number 15. For any project, users always have doubts about safety. So what is your stance on safety, and how should a user be safe, and how secure is DeFiato?
So this is the number one question by far, and reasonably so, right? DeFiato undergoes constant pen testing and internal audits on our technological framework, coupled with best practices for whole hot wallet management. Now, this is important because, as I mentioned, DeFiato at its core is a custodial service. So none of the technical elements that we use are off-the-shelf solutions. We don't inherit any bugs or vulnerabilities that is already out there. So everything is internally built according to best-in-class framework for the purpose of custody. And of course, we have the best technical team, of course, right? With decades of combined experience in blockchain as well as infrastructure development, particularly in the area of security.
Does DeFiato have a plan to expand into more blockchains? And what are the next coins in line to be added to the farm's swaps?
So we will continue to support most major blockchains. Of course, we have our selection criteria. Right now, we have Avalanche, BSC, Polygon, as well as Solana. Terra is about to come up fairly soon. More importantly, we are in a lot of discussions to onboard the thousands, right, the hundreds and thousands, right, of multiple DeFi farms, DEXs, and even loan platforms. Consequently, the coins with the highest TVLs and volumes will be of choice to be included on DeFiato. If you want to know which one, you just have to stay plugged in into our community, who will get all the latest information.
What chains does DeFiato think are the most important for onboarding new users?
Chains with a low transaction fee and very high liquidity, those will be the obvious choices for us. So, it's fairly obvious, right? Terra, Avalanche, BSC, those will be ideal for us, and that's why we are supporting them, would be supporting, right, for the likes of Terra. In fact, we are already beginning to see these things simply from just our token. So the fiat token is cross-chain, right? So we can already see the activity and the user behavior for how people are using the DeFiat token over to our platform and where it's going in terms of the chain. So we wish to work with chains with very approachable teams. That's one of our criteria. Within the ecosystem, there's seamless collaboration as we onboard and support those particular ecosystems.
Question number 18. Currently, there are a lot of ups and downs in the crypto market. So how will DeFiato manage the DeFiat price stability?
I think DeFiato is a live product, right, with an actual revenue generating system. Let's understand that. So I think that cannot be understated. So we're not like many other projects out there which may not have intrinsic demand woven into the business. So the DeFiat token is used exclusively on our platform and has that native utility because we are already in business and have been so for a few months now. So this sets us apart from many out there. But more importantly, as our platform continues to grow, native demand will naturally and organically increase, right, in terms of the token use.
Question number 19. Is staking available for DeFiato? If yes, where do we stake? Also, is there a minimum amount of tokens that can be staked?
Right now, you could go stake your DFIAT on our platform, which is defiato.com. You could also go onto our app, and the staking features are already available there. So you can start staking with a minimum of just 500 DFIAT, and you would earn a fixed APY of 50% a year, right? We have also many different partners, for example, in Trader Joe, where they are giving farming rewards for if you're staking LP tokens, right? On Trader Joe, which is on Avalanche Network, and also Terraformer, which is a strong partner of us, where you can stake tokens both LP as well as single-sided on Terraformer.
The last question for today from the community is, what are DeFiato top 3 priorities for the year 2022? And could you share some plans for the upcoming year?
DeFiato, we're dedicated to building, right, the best centralized DeFi platform to provide everyone with easy access to DeFi, without technical barriers, thus creating significant value for our token holders. So we'll continue to onboard more chains. We will improve our user interface very significantly. I'm just so excited to release the new build, but of course not ahead of time, but that would be something we will, as a user, as our community, want to look forward to. And of course, last but not least, the rollout of fiat onramp, which is a major game changer for as well as centralized DeFi. Expect that from us this year, fairly soon. In the future, we'll just continue to focus on including more and more chains and DeFi services onto our platform safely, and responsibly. I think even though this may just be business as usual, but remember that is our main value proposition. We include more and more services so that we always have a good product market fit to our community, to users such as yourself.
Yes, Jeremy, thank you for answering the 20 questions from the community. That's it for the questions from the community. Guys, if you saw your question on the screen, that means you are one of the lucky winners, and you can claim your rewards by following the instructions down in the description box. Jeremy, now it is your turn to ask your 6 questions back to the community so they can do their research and earn additional rewards whenever you're ready.
So the first question is, what is DeFiato? The second question is, what is the DeFiato token name? The third question is, tell us at least one thing you can do with the DFIAT token. The fourth question is, what is the base APY for staking the DFIAT token? Fifth question, what swap pair does DFIAT pair on defiato.com? And the sixth question is, name 2 of DeFiato's partner or investor.
Guys, if you feel like earning additional rewards, please do your research and put the comments down below with your answers. We will check them and select the lucky winners if your answer is correct. That wraps it up for today. Everyone, thank you so much for listing your questions for Jeremy today. And Jeremy, thank you for providing so many great insights about the DeFiato project. It's been a pleasure learning about your project more in depth, and I wish you success in ongoing with your roadmap. And yeah, and hopefully we could do this sometime in the future again. And again, for everybody who's watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.